Welcome back. Last time we were able to register a user, so we can come here, supply a username and a password, and we're able to validate if the username is unique or the email is unique. And when everything's successful, we can create the user account and we bring them here. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and create the login form and also log in a user. So what I'm going to do is here in the login template, I'm basically going to repress this and then we'll walk over it. So what we are doing is so this basically adds things like semantic, a way to add the title and all that stuff. So then because we want to load an image here, we load static, then we have the block content. So I'm actually going to move the block content in here. So we have the block content. So here we basically have a semantic card, and then inside there we have the form. So the form, it has the method of post, meaning you're going to be making a post request. So it's good to always use a post request for things like login credentials, because you don't want to expose these things in the browser URL. So if you use the get, they would get exposed in the URL, but you don't want to do that. So here we have a cross-site request forgery token. So down here we have the username field and also the password field. Now you will notice that the username field has data.username as the value. So this one here, we need to be passing it in. So that's pretty much it. It's a very simple form. So now we need to handle when it is submitted. So the action is going to be login. And if you want to use this, of course, you can take a look at it. You can copy it out, or you can just look in the GitHub repo, check for the exact file, templates, authentication, login, and you can just copy it. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go ahead to the view and see how to handle the user login. So I'm going to go to the authentication views. So that's going to be here. We already have the login view. So what we want to do now is to handle the post request. So we do if request.method is post, then we want to grab the username and then the password. So you can say username. Let's also grab the password. Okay, like this. So here what you can do is for us not to worry more about validations, I'm going to come to the template and make these fields required. So here we can add required, and here we can add required. So the user can't submit it without filling in these details. So in the view, what you can do now is we want to try to authenticate this user. So to authenticate the user, we are going to need some few utilities from Django. So I'm going to come back here and import some things. So from Django, contrib.auth, import authenticate and also login. Okay, so now that we have this over here, we're going to try to authenticate this user. So we're going to try by doing user equals, we'll call authenticate. So authenticate takes in the request and then the credentials we want to basically verify. So here we pass the request, and also we want to pass the username and password. So we say username equals the username, and then the password equals the password. So if this user exists, it's gonna give us back the user. So what you can do here is we want to check if not user. So if there was no user, if we didn't find a match, then what we want to do is we want to still redirect to this page and show a message. So here we can say we can create a message by saying messages.add message. So it takes a request, then we want to pass the type. So it's gonna be messages.error, then the message is going to be invalid credentials. Okay, so when we have that error, then we want of course to re-render back our template. So here we can re-render back the template. Now if we have the user, meaning if this was able to authenticate, what we want to do is we want to call login. So login takes in the request we want to login. So here we can do request, and also whenever you call login, you pass the request and also the user. So we want to pass the user that authenticate gave us. Okay, so when everything is good, now we can maybe say welcome the user who has logged in. So we're still gonna use this message. So here we can say messages.add message. This is gonna be a success. So let's now say welcome. I'm going to use an f string here. Then we can say welcome. Then we pass user.username. Once all this is done, we want to redirect to the home page. So we can say return redirect. So we'll be going to the home page. So remember home, we want to reverse. We need to import reverse. So now we are going to the to do home. So that's gonna be, I believe the route is called home. So if we come back here in the URLs for the, by the way, let's first import to reverse. So from Django URLs import reverse. So if you come back to the URLs for to do, you see that the home has the name home. So here, if we say reverse then home, it's going to return for us that URL. So looking good. So let's go ahead and see what is there. One thing you will remember for sure is whenever the username has an issue, we are currently saying please preserve it. So whenever we have an issue, we want to preserve the name. So we want to be sending this data in the context. So we can still go back to our view and do something like we had done for the on the login. So here we can create a context. Context is gonna be, we have data in there. It's gonna be request.post, so that user doesn't lose the data in the form if they have an error. So now here when we are re-rendering it, we can pass the context again, which will have the data, this one, and this one will contain the request.post.username. And so in the template we can quickly pick it up like this by doing data.username. So let's save and go back to the browser. So I'm going to refresh here. So you see we have our form and things are okay. This navigation should work. So now here we can put the name. Then I'm going to use a password that is wrong. So if we click login, you see we get invalid credentials. The password is kept. Okay, so now let's enter a password that's correct. And now you see that what happened was we were able to get, what happens is we get an error. They're telling us that login takes one positional argument. So login only takes in the request, I believe. So if we come back here, login should take in only the request. Okay, so let's try again. I'm gonna reload here and try to log in. So it's gonna be same user, password, click login. Okay, so you will see that it's taking long here. That is because we are having a collision here. You see our route, our function is called login, and we also have login from Django. So this is now causing an issue in our application. So let's go ahead and rename our route so that it doesn't really mess up with our, like the Django views. So I'm gonna stop the server here because it's running into an issue. Then we need to update the URL. So here, let's make sure you're updating this URL. So now if we run back the application and come back over here, let's try to log in. Password is password. Click login. Login is missing position user. Crazy. Okay, so here, where is it? So here we have login. We need to pass the user here, as you can see. So let's log in. So initially we were solving a wrong issue, and now I believe we got it. So let's put a user, click OK, and you see that now we are logged in and we are welcomed. Okay, and the header updates, and now we have the things that the user should see when they are logged in being shown. So this is gonna do it for now. So in the next video we're going to be filtering this list by the current logged in user. We're going to be showing the username here and also adding some other configuration in regards to who is logged in. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video.